welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm April Knight and you're watching News 2 Week in Review. Topping our stories tonight, on Tuesday, schools opened on St. Thomas, St. John and St. Croix, but not all of them. Several schools were slated to open on September 17th, many of them still dealing with the installation of modular classrooms and other major repairs. We spoke to St. Thomas Superintendent of Schools, Dion Wells-Hedrington, who gave us updates about how the first week of school was for the schools that did open on St. Thomas. The superintendent declined to answer whether she is confident that the rest of the schools will open on September 17th. According to Education, that's dependent on logistics and weather conditions. We will have updates on St. Croix schools in a later newscast. Meanwhile, here's more from the St. Thomas Education Superintendent.
On September 4th, we were able to open 5 of our sites, which were Alla F. Muller Elementary School, Janie Tuitt Elementary School, Leonard Dober Elementary School, Joseph Sibley Elementary School, Bertha C. Shelter Middle School, and our Alternative Academy. In the interim, we have 7 sites that remain closed. Julius E. Sproul School on St. John, Ivana Eudora High School, Yvonne Milanabowski Elementary School, Joseph Gomez Elementary School, Lockhart Elementary School, Charlotte Amali High School, and Cancrine Junior High School. So it's work in progress. We appreciate the patience of the community during these challenging times, but we're committed to making sure that when we open our doors to all of our students, we're opening them to a safe, nurturing environment. One of the questions that our parents had, what do we do with our children during this 2-week break? So what we had is for our teachers to prepare packets, which are now available at all of our elementary schools. You can go to the site's main office between the hours of 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily to pick up those packets, and those packets are focusing on reading and math skills. With the secondary program, specifically Charlotte Amali High School and Ivana Eudora High School, students receive some assignments. So the administrators are encouraging all students to complete their summer reading assignments and have them ready to turn into their teachers once the doors open. With Cancrine Junior High School, packets can be picked up from Charlotte Amali High School's main office, or you can find that information on Cancrine's Facebook page or the Virgin Islands Department of Education's Facebook page or website. We want to encourage parents to encourage your students to read on a daily basis. Our focus in the district is on literacy, and so we're pushing that as well.
Again, we'll have updates for you on St. Croix schools in a later newscast. We do have this update on the early dismissal of St. Croix Central High School. According to the Education Department, St. Croix Central High had to remain closed today, Friday, September 7th. This was after classes were dismissed early on Thursday, September 6th, because of an electrical fire in the school kitchen that caused a power outage on campus. According to education officials, the cafeteria and major classroom wings were affected. They still did not have electricity as of Friday. The part needed for repairs had to come from off-island, and it's expected to arrive over the weekend and installed, so hopefully that's fixed when classes start on Monday, September 10th. The Department of Education will provide an update on Sunday, September 9th. Parents and students are advised to check the department's Facebook page for updates, and we will certainly pass along any information we have as soon as we get them. Well, on Wednesday, to commemorate the anniversary of Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria, which hit the territory in September last year, members of the 32nd Legislature hosted an observance at the Senate building on St. Thomas. Senate President Myron Jackson said it's only fitting that the legislative branch, the first branch of government, should lead the observance. The event raised issues like post-traumatic stress disorder, which is very real among survivors of the 2 devastating hurricanes, according to Senator Janelle Sarow. They invited Dr. Marilyn Brathwaite Hall as keynote speaker. There were musical selections and speeches all around, and representatives from various religious denominations also attended the event. Meanwhile, Government House is hosting its own hurricane anniversary event that's going to be held this Saturday, September 8th at the Sports and Fitness Center, University of the Virgin Islands on St. Thomas. It's praise and Thanksgiving service, according to Government House, and it starts at 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. This is the first of a series of such events hosted by Government House. They will also be organizing some similar events on St. Croix and St. John, and the dates and times for those have yet to be announced. We will keep you updated. Meanwhile, here at News 2, we are also marking the one-year anniversary of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. We're doing this via a two-part special. The first one will be focused on St. Thomas and St. John after Hurricane Irma. It's a 30-minute special that airs on via Channel 4 and 504. That's on Saturday, September 8th at 7 p.m. The second part, another 30-minute special, will focus on St. Croix after Hurricane Maria. There are plenty of stories about strength and perseverance after the storms, and we've chosen to highlight several stories that we hope inspire you as much as they inspired us. And here's a sneak preview into our Hurricane Irma special, and again, that's coming up this Saturday, September 8th at 7 p.m. on via Channel 4 and 504. The stories we're about to tell you are not so much about the storms.
Then you have to prioritize, okay? Women with small children first.
They're a story about a people who displayed strength and resilience.
And they had a convoy of boats that went to St. Thomas, and their thing was, we going. When we get there, we'll figure it out.
This is the Water Spirit headed out to St. Thomas with relief efforts.
Kindness and compassion after the storm.
It was just a natural evolution here. The island's in trouble.
This whole thing full of people. They said, wow.
Hundreds of people every day.
An entire community of Virgin Islanders who became unlikely heroes and showed the world what it means to be VI strong. We hope you get to tune in. Coming up next, a St. Croix nonprofit aims to shine a light on a particularly sensitive issue that some Virgin Islands children go through. Plus, our Pet of the Week segment coming up later. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Women's Coalition on St. Croix is tackling a sensitive problem head-on. With some grant funding, they're launching a new radio drama that seeks to end child sexual abuse in one generation. It's a big issue and something people would rather not talk about, but the nonprofit is not shying away from the big task of solving it. Here's more from their executive director, Clemma Lewis.
We've chosen to do a radio drama because we thought, as a collaborate between the staff and the people that were working with us, that it would be the best way to be able to get the story across, the stories across. It would be the best way to do awareness, because in radio dramas, which they don't have very much of anymore, it causes you to have to think. You have to create the picture within your mind, and so it brings the stories more to life because you have to add your own experience in order to be able to really follow the stories or see the stories. And in a lot of ways, it causes you to put things that you may know and have dismissed, ways that you could have helped people who may have experienced it, bring it to the forefront so that we're able to really, combat this problem that has been growing, and it's been around for a very, very long time.
We've had forums, we've had games, we've done everything we can to bring the awareness to the community that child sexual assault is an issue. So our prevention is to continue to educate. This is it here. This show is all about prevention, to continue to educate the community, let them know what's out there, where they can get help, The Child Abuse Task Force have committed to getting the laws back out in the community.
And with doing the writing and doing the radio drama with the grants, I mean, it was an option of just regularly doing a talk show or, you know, having posters and ads and PSAs. But doing the combination of the 26 episodes and having a talk show after everyone for 30 minutes to discuss the points, it just worked better. The script was written actually by two educational complex teachers, Saida Carter and Regina Keels. And we tried to get some writers in because, like I said, the radio drama we just thought would be the best way to get you to think about what's going on. It's not like television where they get to see, so somebody else is showing you a story. You have to actually create the imagery yourself. We have assisted 426 survivors of sexual assault in the past year. So there definitely is a need. For one thing, it's not just the victim of the sexual assault that's affected, but also their families. And so it extends the amount of people that are actually directly related to the pain that is associated with child sexual assault and sexual assault on a whole. If you think about the fact that if you have a 7-year-old child that's been sexually assaulted, the entire family is affected. The community is affected. Their extended family is affected. They have telltale signs when they're at school. Their social events are affected. Everything becomes affected. So we really need to get down to stopping what's going on, to break the silence, to have those little secrets that people walk around with that cause them to have pain. We need to have them revealed so that we can have some healing. Because every child victim of sexual assault turns out to be an adult victim of sexual assault also.
And you can catch the Women's Coalition radio drama on 95.1 FM, Aisle 95. Turning our attention overseas, Dominica is getting millions of dollars in loans from the World Bank. Stakeholders in the island nation's fisheries and agriculture sector have successfully completed a one-day meeting that paved the way for a $25 million World Bank-funded project. Andrea Louie of Dominica News reports.
This is the second time since Hurricane Maria that the World Bank is lending significant support to the country's agriculture sector. Earlier this year, an $18 million grant from the World Bank was distributed among farmers and fisherfolk to help get them back on their feet following the impact of Hurricane Maria. On Tuesday, stakeholders met to discuss how to best utilize the $25 million, which targets a wider cross-section of those involved in the sector. The project, dubbed the Dominica Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilient Project, is expected to last 5 years. According to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Reginald Thomas, the project, which focuses heavily on providing input support, has 3 components.
Component A, which seeks to rebuild or restore the base.
There were 8 entries for rib lovers to choose from. In addition to the ribs, there was live music from Nature Force, and Leatherback Brewery provided their specialty beers. In front of an anxious and happy crowd at Eat It Cane Bay, the winners were announced. Flyers Bar and Grill took first place. Second place went to Team Over the Edge, and Blues Backyard Barbecue took third place and the People's Choice Award. It was a very special moment, according to Flyers Bar and Grill owner Scott Bryan.
I'm so happy to win this competition. This was the highlight of my week, and I want Flyers to be recognized. All I gotta say.
Congratulations to all the winners. Well, I bet you're excited about this particular segment. Which cute critter are we featuring this week for Pet of the Week? Well, we can tell you this one is a beautiful canine and she needs a forever home. Here's Donna Nemeth, the Director of Operations at Humane Society of St. Thomas, to tell us all about our Pet of the Week, Tamika.
Tamika is a 6-month-old young dog that came to us about a month ago. She was surrendered by her owner, who had both parents and 4 puppies. Just always super playful in her kennel, and she's always like bowing down and just wanting to interact. She is super friendly, loves to be around other dogs, hasn't shown any interest in cats, super friendly and energetic. A little bit nervous being out of her kennel for the first time for the day, but she will make a great companion.
Again, if you or anyone you know is interested in any of the pets we feature on Pet of the Week, please call the Humane Society of St. Thomas at 775-0599 or visit www.hsstt.com. The Humane Society also offers a free spaying and neutering program where you can get a voucher to take to the veterinarian of your choice. In one of our earlier stories, the shelter staff urged the community to spay and neuter their pets to help combat animal overpopulation, which has only worsened, they said, after the 2017 hurricanes. Well, with two systems forming in the Atlantic, some residents naturally are worried about what they may bring our way. Homeowners who are still living under blue tarp roofs are particularly concerned. So we spoke to Gary Green at Vitima, who left us some tips.
So right now we're asking all of the residents to begin preparations now. Beginning preparations as in having communication with your family members, preparing based on your current situation. Those conversations can just be as general or as simple as, requesting to stay with them, especially if you know that your roof is compromised or if you're living under a blue roof at this time. In addition to that, begin preparing your emergency kit. Make sure that your emergency kit has non-perishable food, water, flashlight, portable battery-operated radio, things that you need. Based on your experiences last year, everyone can tailor their disaster kit based on what they need. There are two weather disturbances. One of them is located as of 8 o'clock this morning. It was located at 650 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands, and it does have a formation chance to the next 48 hours, a high chance of formation to the next 48 hours. It's a high possibility that they both will form into something. But in terms of exactly where they will be heading, it's a little too early to say. We are currently in the peak of the hurricane season, and it is National Preparedness Month, which is the month of September. Be prepared, plan and plan ahead of time and have these discussions with family members and friends.
And with that, here's a look at what the next several days look like with our News 2 AccuWeather forecast.
Good evening. We continue to keep an eye on a couple different tropical systems that we want to tell you about. The first, of course, is Florence, and Florence is projected to move off to the north and west. That will stay a long way away from us, and in the meantime, it is tapping into a lot of moisture, so we're not really seeing too much activity around the Virgin Islands. I do want to point out, however, that we are watching another little wave here. This one will likely organize into something that could possibly be named by the time we head on into Saturday. It will be taking a more westward track and as a result could potentially impact us. We will be telling you more about this as we get more updates. And in terms of timing, it would likely be early to mid next week. A little bit more of a close-up view of what's happening right now in your satellite imagery, and we're just getting occasional passing clouds as our trade wind flow is in full effect. Might bring one or two little showers through, but they'll be very fleeting. Then you'll return back to partly cloudy skies. Again, a lot of the moisture is well off to the north and east, more associated with Florence. If you're planning on going out and about tonight, expect lows in the upper 70s, mostly clear skies. For tomorrow, St. John up to 89 degrees, lots of sun. Over towards St. Thomas, also in the upper 80s, good deal of humidity, likely making it feel more like low 90s. St. Croix, 90 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Doing any boating, we want our small crafts to use caution. Waves at about 3 to 5 feet on the Atlantic side, and very similar conditions for the Caribbean side with waves at 3 to 5 feet in height. We'll go ahead and leave you with a look at what's in store for the next several days. And as of right now, we're calling for high temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. Pretty much every single day, seeing a mix of sun and clouds with a passing afternoon shower. Again, we'll be watching that tropical system into the early and middle portion of of next week as of right now, calling for a good deal of sunshine on Tuesday with occasional showers on Wednesday.
Thank you for that, and that's it for our show tonight. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at News2VI or Instagram at TV2USVI. We want to hear from you, so tag us on any stories you want to see on the news or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2 Week in Review. I'm April Knight. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend.